that we got 13 trillion in national debt. We got countries that are in debt and everyone's looking for a bailout. Thankfully, we have Bill Bartmann, CEO of Bartmann Enterprises, with us. It is a debt advisor firm, remote from Tulsa, joining us now. Bill, thanks for being with us. This whole notion of carrying debt, creating more debt, and it not stopping is pretty much got everybody up in arms these days.
Well, it does, and good morning, and appropriately so. The United States have kind of taken on the role of protector now of the EU. First, we tried to bail out Greece, and whether that's really going to work or not remains to be seen. And now it looks like we're going to be lowering the overnight funds rate to the EU. It's pretty scary out there right now.
Bill, everyone's saying, okay, we know what's going on with Greece. I don't know if we can fix it or not, but at least we know what's there. Spain, we're getting a better idea. The pigs nations, and I can say that because, like I said, my heritage, I at least have about half of the pigs nations involved in my heritage. But who's next? I mean, is this thing going to continue to move through Europe? I think that's probably why people are so uneasy right now. We don't know who's next.
I think you're exactly right. I think it is the uncertainty and this opaqueness of the EU at the moment that we can't tell how bad is. Now, here in the United States, we have a relatively efficient system for finding weakness and finding strength, and we get to bet accordingly. But in the EU, it's not quite so clear. And I'll give you an example of BBVA in Spain at the moment is a bank that, quite frankly, we're looking at as one that's in a lot more trouble than otherwise would appear. And if indeed it does fail, and that's one of the likelihoods in the near future, then quite frankly, we could have a second ripple back to the United States, because BBVA is the bank that took over Compass Bank and ultimately Guarantee Bank from the FDIC.
So what happens then going forward? You know, we continue to build debt, we continue to take on more, we lower rates, we're giving money away for free. This doesn't bode well for an economy that's trying to get out of a recession.
No, and obviously that concept didn't work when we were stimulus one, stimulus two, great ideas though they may have looked like in a vacuum. Now the jury is in, and quite frankly the unemployment rate has gone up, not down. Home ownership has decreased, not increased. I mean, all of the indicators are now in telling us the concept didn't work. So I think it's time for us to rethink the entire proposition.
Bill, one of the things, you know, when I look at Europe, in particular Southern Europe, we just have a different work ethic here. I mean, we just have a different structure in terms of our labor structure. So wouldn't that prevent us from ultimately going down that road? I know we're building up debts like they are, but we don't have the same type of mentality that they have.
I hope that's true. I believe that's true, and I'd like to continue to think that's true. But I think in the last 20 years, we've gone from the Ozzie and Harriet generation to the Ozzy Osbourne generation. And I'm not sure that the social mores haven't changed more than we are afraid they have.
Okay, so we're on this so-called crazy train now.
Wow.
And good one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And but we have at least a nation, to Chris's point, that's going to change. We're probably going to come out of this. What happens to Europe if they don't? Does the euro go away?
That's one of the possibilities, and quite frankly, it's a distinct possibility. When you look back at the way the euro was created, again, good theory gone bad. We have a bunch of nations that can't agree on what day of the week it is, yet they have a common currency. Each one of them is in it for themselves, and whether that's right or wrong is actually immaterial, but it means we have way too many chiefs and not near enough Indians. We don't have a unified government, we just have a unified currency.
Bill, how far down does this euro go? I mean, are we talking about getting close to par here? Because we've dropped a ton already, and to get to 122, 123, you know, there's near panic at that number. How far can it go, and what will it mean?
It can go further, and we suspect that it will go further. Now, this is not a number we would have predicted a year ago. You know, anybody in their rational mind would have said 120 is out of the question. We're seeing 110 probably by the end of the summer.
110, but then does the Eurozone jump in and start buying back its own euros to keep it from going further?
Well, there will be that. There always will be that. Anytime you see this kind of a dip, there'll be people wanting to speculate. But the fundamentals are the fundamentals. What we have in Europe right now is something gone very wrong. We have what we might see in the United States in the next 3 to 5 years, a whole bunch of spending that was done without really thinking your way through the proposition. I'm really concerned.
Bill, real quick, I've got just a couple of seconds left. Are you more concerned when we talk about Europe right now about the contagion spreading to the United States? Are you more concerned with banks failing and thus the tentacles reaching to U.S. banks? Or are you more concerned with the lack of demand with those economies just basically taking a hit and in some cases moving into depression?
I think all three of those are interconnected, and I don't think you can separate them.
I got you. Bill, great stuff. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Bill.
Welcome.
We'll have to check back in with Bill as he said that euro continues to